P, what up, Fred? What up, Fred? Can you hear me?
Hold on one second. No, I can't hear you. You sound distorted. Pound for pound, sports and entertainment. It's going to be in Florida. Thurman is the A side.
Is that
Okay.
better?
Yeah. 1 second. Jai the real. We know it's going to be Josecito
What
Lopez.
up, host?
Hey, what's up? Go ahead, Brandon. B, it's all you. You locked in. Go ahead, B.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well. Go ahead.
Okay. What I want to say was basically I want to say about the FBI files you read first. Fred, they ran a program called COINTELPRO. So if you believe, just because we've all been through those files, you believe. I
No,
got to say this, Fred.
Brandon, I cross-reference everything. Just like I just
Oh, okay. I just want to say, but
no,
can I?
no, no. Just how I
Okay.
just
Okay.
cross-referenced with Bob to see if it was true. That's all I did. I cross-referenced three. I have 3 or 4 facts. I got so many facts. I got so many files that I'm going through. I just want you to know that I'm a historian. Okay, so now you
What are
can.
you looking for? Can I
I'm,
ask you what you're looking for?
I'm reading. I'm searching for the truth.
Okay.
I'm doing.
Well, I could just tell you that from my experience, because I already did this, that I didn't find any truth in the FBI files. What I found was a bunch of stuff that was redacted out. It didn't give me the names of the people who were writing the report. It didn't give me the names of the people who were sitting there.
Because you don't have the
Uh,
police reports. If you had the police reports, you would know the names. And if you knew,
that's
if
not
you,
true,
no,
Fred.
listen, I know that. Listen. I'm telling you what I have in front of me.
Okay.
I'm telling you what hard copies. Well, it's online. What I have in front of me. You can
Hmm.
go to the FBI files. Guess what? You can go to the police files, and there's something called the internet where you can say, where was Malcolm X in 1963? Where was Elijah Muhammad? And sometimes it lines up.
Fred, can I ask you a question though?
No,
And,
no,
and I just I,
no.
so no question. Okay, well I just okay. Well I skip on. I'll move past it. I'll
Yeah,
move on. We'll
because
move on.
you're a part of the Nation of Islam. So you're going
No,
to
it has nothing to do
it
with the
does.
nation, Fred.
It does.
It doesn't.
It
No,
does.
I'm talking about the government. I'm talking about the
know,
government and their
I
files
know about the
and
government.
COINTELPRO
I
and the
believe in it.
program that, and the counterintelligence program that they ran. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm reading it. I can see it with my own eyes. I can tell what they're doing the same way that I see it. I'm
So I'm
reading.
not talking about. So what I'm saying to you is, I'm not talking about the Nation of Islam per se. I'm
Mhm.
talking about those files and the way that they conducted themselves, and I'm talking about reading those files and what you see in them. Because we now can I ask now you most of the files that you've gotten a hold to from the Freedom of Information Act, they
Uh,
are redacted out. A lot of them are
a lot
redacted,
of it are. A lot of it are. Not a lot of it, but
and not.
much of it is. Much of it is.
So that's what I'm trying to say, Fred. That was the only point that I was trying to make.
No, you
That
said it
those
wasn't
files.
true. But I'm gonna tell you one thing.
No, I didn't say they wasn't true. I said you have to be careful about the truth that's in
No,
them because of
no.
who wrote them.
Oh, I know that. I know that. I'm not gonna believe.
That's the point that I'm making. That was the only point that I was making. I think you were so quick to put me in a box as far as the Nation of Islam.
Because you just said that they're lying. You said that they're not truthful. That's why I cross-reference
Fred,
everything. This
are they? Did I lie? Are they not truthful? If they had a program to disrupt black organizations to make people better, and then they lied to get these people
that's why
assassinated.
that's why you cross-reference. That's why I'm flying around the country interviewing everybody. That's why I asked Bob Arum, did you have a conversation with John Ali? Those conversations that he had was exact. You don't have those files. Those aren't FBI files, but some of them FBI files. Those are the exact conversations that he said are the exact conversation that I had with John Ali. Not exact, but the big picture. The conversation I had with John Ali about him covering the fights, and the conversation that Bob Arum just have, and the papers that I have. I have hard copies and I have files. So that's how I cross-reference things, and that's how I know it to be true. And when I'm done with my research, I'm going to present something, and you can believe it or not believe it, and that's it. And I'm spending 12 hours a day working on this, and I am doing my best to be emotionalist about it, and I'm going to present something, and whether you like it or love it, it's based off of interviewing all these people that I've interviewed over the years, and that's it. And you can wait a minute. We know Jai. It's gonna be Josecito Lopez, Jai the Real. Oh, shit, it's
Not well. Let's go to the Bob thing because I just think that when it comes to the FBI files, I just think you chasing something that's already been
I'm not
presented.
but I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm that I'm not gonna allow happen. I am not gonna have my child be I'm not gonna have Lincoln and Kennedy be a 40-year-old Hawthorne and them growing up saying on all across the internet, Malcolm X was a hypocrite. Malcolm X he was not a hypocrite.
He was a hypocrite to his teacher. He was a hypocrite. No, he was a hypocrite to his teacher. He was a hypocrite. Fred. No, according to his teacher, Fred.
Was it true or was it untrue? Was it true or was it untrue?
Was what true? Was what true?
Was what he said untrue about the women and the money? Was it true or was it
okay?
Untrue? I'm asking
you. Well, I'm finna answer, Fred. Fred, can I answer it, please?
No, just say yes or no. Just say yes or no.
I gotta answer because I gotta answer the question.
Just
what he said about Elijah Muhammad sleeping with teenage secretary was a lie. That was a lie.
Was it?
That's number one. Okay, number two. No. You wanted straight answers. I just gave you a straight answer. That was a lie. Now the next question.
No.
Money. What about money?
Wait. No. Let's go back. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. I know y'all want to get into boxing, but let me digress a little bit. I can prove. What's her name? Evelyn Williams. I can prove her age. I can prove her age because I've had conversations with
Fred. What? Fred, you
don't Fred me. You either come with facts,
I'm listening.
Come with facts or don't.
Fred, no, you cannot prove that she was a teenager. You can't prove that.
How I can't? How I can't?
Fred, because she was not a teenager. Because she wasn't a teenager.
Okay, well, we'll worry about that later. We'll worry about
that. Next. Now you ask me about money. Now ask me about money. What did you say about money?
Okay. Man, I don't want to have this conversation because
okay, well, let's talk about boxing then. That's what I was trying to talk about, Fred.
I'm not here to disprove. No, you came in talking about this shit.
No. We talked about the files, and then I tried to move on. Let's move on.
All y'all, no, listen. You got to live in truth, and it's not theories and ideologies. Okay, because in 2020, it is proven, 100% proven. That Elijah Muhammad had multiple kids outside of Clara Muhammad.
I didn't say that. That's not what we was talking about. You said she was a teenager, and that's a damn lie that Malcolm repeated. That's a lie. Malcolm lied. Malcolm was a liar.
So listen to what I'm saying. If you saying she's lying, right? And I can prove it because I have two people that was in the house. I have two people that was in the house that I can prove her age because I can pull her birth certificate.
Fred, we already have a birth certificate. I know exactly how old she was. Okay. That's how I know you don't. That's how I know that you're not familiar. No. Do your research. I have it. Now tell me about the money. No. Okay. So
money.
Let's talk about money. What money are you talking about?
It's just practical.
No, Fred, you said money. You said Elijah Muhammad and money. What about it?
Yes. If you're building something, I'm sorry, y'all can't see me. If I'm building something, right? If I'm building something and I tell the people I'm building something and I go build $1 million mansion and I buy a private jet, am I building a hospital?
Fred, you don't know what you're talking about. See, you're just talking. First of all, let me put this in perspective for you. Now, let's talk about what Elijah Muhammad did do.
No.
You want to talk about what? Okay, yes, you are, because he built multiple $1 million mansions on the same street. You don't know what you're talking about.
I do.
See, once again, you don't know what you're talking about. He built mansions. He built mansions for everybody. Not only that, he was the first. A black man was flying that jet. He was trying to. What he was doing. So what he was doing was the same thing that everybody. Okay, what was the what do you want me to answer? And I answer straight out.
Oh, you're telling me you're just
because you act like it's something wrong with him having a damn jet. You act like it's something wrong with him building a mansion. You act like you are. You acting like something wrong with that. What's wrong with that, Fred? I don't believe nothing's wrong with that.
I don't believe it's nothing wrong.
So why come he can't? Why come he wasn't building a hospital? Matter of fact,
you gonna let me finish? You let me
go
finish.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Are you gonna let me finish? Are you gonna let me finish?
Yes, sir.
All right. If he's building a hospital, I'm gonna have to beam you out because I'm gonna have to beam you out so I can get this point across. I'll let you talk as long as you want. But if he's building a hospital, a 300-bed hospital, according to Elijah Muhammad, a 300-bed hospital, right? And in 1973 or 72 or whatever it is, I create this plan, right? And he says, white people are the devil, right? We need to separate ourselves from them. And then he goes and builds a mansion and in terms of business, goes and tries to attach himself to government funding to get this stuff done.
That's not true.
How is it not true?
I'll tell you. I'll explain it to you. Can I explain to you how it's not true? Now, when it comes to government funding, you talking about the Nixon.
Why won't you let me finish? Why won't you let me finish?
I did let you finish.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
My apologies.
No, you didn't.
Go ahead, Fred.
No, you didn't. If he says, I'm going to build, fuck, I'm just gonna simplify this shit. Fuck all the bullshit. If the nigga say he gonna build this, Umar Johnson say he gonna build a school, right? He gonna build a school. Umar Johnson say he gonna build a school, right? And he goes off and buys a Bugatti. If he goes off and buys a big mansion, if he goes on a worldwide vacation, what you gonna say about the school?
I'll answer the question. Now let me answer the question. Okay, now the Elijah Muhammad now you trying to act as though he took the people money and misappropriated and bought a jet and built mansions. Now let's talk about what he did. Right next to the mosque in Chicago right now is a school called the University of Islam. It was University of Islam throughout the country. Throughout the country, he started schools throughout the country, over 50 to 60 schools throughout the country. Now in New York, they had fish markets, they had grocery stores, they had all of this. And they had farmland in Florida, they had farmland in Alabama. They had fish programs out on the West Coast, fish coming from Peru where they were feeding themselves. So, Fred, if you have a problem with Elijah Muhammad, then let that be that. But to sit and act as though he didn't try to clean up, they cleaned up black people. If you read Malcolm's book, he tell you that. He talks about how they sat there with the heroin addict, how they cleaned him up. They talk about how they took drunkards and whores and cleaned them up through the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. So whether you think that does something for people or not, that's on you. But to sit and try to act as though he misappropriated funds when he had schools across the country. When you talk to Dr. Wesley, ask him that. When you talk to Johnny, ask him about the Muhammad University. Ask him about the Muhammad Speaks newspaper building factory that they had. Asked him about the canning factory that they had. Fred, you don't know what you're talking about. What you're trying to do is make Elijah Muhammad and frame him the way you want him to be, but that's not who he is to everybody else. Now, when it comes to Malcolm X, he was a hypocrite to his teacher. His teacher took him from prison when he wasn't shit and cleaned him up in front of the whole world, fixed his mouth, fixed everything about him, fixed the way he thought. You don't know nothing about Malcolm X. When I show you these letters about who he is, then you're going to be surprised. I don't like trashing Malcolm because, once again, Malcolm brought me to the Nation of Islam when I was a little boy. But to sit and you to act like Malcolm wasn't made by a nation and taught by a man who gave him the confidence to be what he was, that's disingenuous. Now, if you think you finna ride around and have interviews with 94-year-old John Ali and all of these people and get a truth, you're not finna get that. What you're gonna get is the Nation of Islam and the truth from the way they saw it. Now, when it comes to Evelyn, once again, you don't know what you're talking about. Malcolm had a crush on Evelyn, and that's why he was so upset behind that. That's what it was. And that came out too, and Malcolm talks about fornicating and the way he was chasing Evelyn. So once again, Fred, you have a view that I think is skewed, but go for it. Knock yourself out. And he was a hypocrite to his teacher. Do I think he was a hypocrite personally? Nah. But do I believe he was a hypocrite to his teacher the way they see hypocrite? That's on them. That's on them. I believe Malcolm X was a great man, but I also believe Elijah Muhammad was great as well. I believe that Malcolm X had dirt and he was a man with fault, and Elijah was the same. And I don't think it's fair for you to sit and try to compare and contrast the other and act as though Malcolm X had no dirt. That was a man. And when you hear his dirt, you're gonna be surprised at his dirt. But you shouldn't act as though Elijah Muhammad, oh, he bought a jet, so can he build a hospital? Yeah, fuck yeah, you can build a hospital while owning a jet. Of course you can. Now, let's get off of that and get the box. Now, when we talked about Bob Brown just said, which Reggie was trying to tell you, Reggie was like, you let him slide that Al Hammond, it's not Al Hammond's fault. This is the same man that got in the ring at the end of Terence Crawford fight and said that it was not Al Hammond and that Al Hammond was a hindrance to the fight. That's what Reggie was trying to explain to you. And also Reggie was trying to explain to you about the schedule. Bob did say that about the schedule. He did say that. But outside of that, Fred, I don't know what it is that you're looking for, but you can try to act like you're gonna stop Malcolm from being called a hypocrite. You can't stop that, and there's no narrative that you can write. You can put out all the history you want. People in certain circles is gonna call him a hypocrite, and he died a goddamn hypocrite, and that's what it is. So I don't know what you're looking for, but Fred, I really do hope it give you peace, and I hope you find it. But outside of that, we just don't agree to disagree on that. And I would appreciate it if you didn't just put me in the Nation of Islam box and you put me in a box of broader perspective. Because for you to just label, oh, you just that means you pigeonholing me, and that means that you act as though I can't think outside of that, and that's not fair either. But once again, Fred, knock yourself out. Great show. I know we don't agree, but thanks for having me on, and we'll do this shit again tomorrow. Peace and shout out to the third.
Now, did y'all notice how I let him just talk? You notice how I didn't say anything while he talked for 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, however long he wanted to talk. I let him talk. Let me get to the super chat and I'm going to respond to him. Bob said it was pointless to announce early because of the pandemic. Now, since it's opening up, it's good to promote because earlier for the live gate. I just remember when he said, you got it in response to the live gate, but I gotta go back and watch that. I gotta go back and no, I was cutting him off because he didn't let me respond. I want to respond in a full thought, not in a complete sentence. I don't just think in one sentence or 2 sentences or 3 sentences. Let me respond in a complete thought. But I'm gonna tell you one thing about me. I believe in the truth. Okay? Whether I am right or whether I am wrong. Am I human? Do I get emotional? Yes. Do I get frustrated? Yes. Do I have pride? Yes. I'm just going to say this. I've been working on this for 20 years. This ain't no, y'all just seeing it now. I didn't talk to, I went to New York every summer. I've had so many conversations. I done been to the Shabazz barbershop? I done been there. I done walked the streets of Harlem. Y'all just getting the finality of it. I'm not done talking. Y'all just getting the finality of it. Okay. Now, because y'all see the aggression now, y'all think I just spoke to Khalila Muhammad and John Ali. No, there's 40, 50 conversations I done had. They just haven't been recorded. And so I genuinely, and when things cross-reference like this, I was asking Bob so we can hear it too, but I was also cross-referencing my facts. I have those conversations, whether it's through the NYPD, whether it's through the FBI file. He said FBI files is wrong, but the FBI files just proved I was right because he said he had those conversations. And I can show him where they had on the days that they had these conversations. The same way I asked, I'll give you guys one example. The same way I asked John Ali, right? Because I was cross-referencing, right? And I said, John Ali, he was telling me a story about him flying Elijah Muhammad back from the Bahamas. I said, when was that? He said, in January. And I said, oh, I said, was it January 1971? He says, yeah. And I says, oh, that's interesting. You understand? Because I cross-referenced with the man that actually got the private jet. Now, whether you're for or against Malcolm, for or against Elijah Muhammad, for or against the Nation of Islam, it's great when we go against Jesus Christ, right? It's great when we go against Catholicism and all those men that be touching those little boys, right? And all those pastors that be robbing money, that be robbing and stealing from the people. It's terrible when Creflo Dollar buys a jet and everybody talking about it. It's terrible when Fred Price gets a big church and everyone is critical of it, right? It's terrible. But when you find the truth about somebody that that you may be enamored with, like Brandon, and I know DB's Nation of Islam, I understand that. I do my best to take my emotions out of things. Do I respond emotionally sometimes? Sure I do. But I know, because I've cross-referenced so many times. Brandon is a part of it, right? And I respect it. He says he did this, but I'm going to tell you this. Malcolm X's father was a Garveyite. So to say that Elijah Muhammad is 100% responsible for the evolution of Malcolm X, who went to jail in his 20s, is wrong. It's flat out wrong. Was Elijah Muhammad, I believe, an asset to him? Very much so. Do I believe his teachings are an asset? Yes. Conservative lifestyle as it pertains to food, the discipline, eating 1 meal a day, and there's so many things that can go on. Yes, you're 100% right. I agree. But to say one man changed one human, I believe Elijah Muhammad to be a human. I don't believe him to be the messenger of God. I don't believe there's such a thing. I don't believe the 12 disciples are messengers of God. I think they had great moments. I don't believe in the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ. Do I say it to carry on the conversation? Yeah, because I don't feel like debating with a Christian about was Peter a disciple. I don't feel like having those fucking conversations. Okay. So the point I'm making is this. We have to know the truth. And when you cross-reference, then you know the truth. I done had conversations with Tamara Payne. The list goes, I can go on and on. I done had conversations with Ilyasha Shabazz. I done had conversations with 40 Nation of Islam members, young, old, indifferent, whatever the case may be. The truth is the truth. And when I'm done with this, it's going to be the truth. You can hate me. You can love me. You can want to kill me. You can want to fight me. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. But I am on this journey, which I believe is an honorable. I believe it's honorable. I genuinely believe it's. I have no malice. Elijah Muhammad is behind me in this picture because he was an asset to Malcolm X. Okay, I'm not going in this like, oh, I got to kill Elijah Muhammad. Oh, I got to murder Elijah. No, the truth is the truth. The same thing. If you knew everything about your father, you would be disappointed. If you knew everything about your mother, you would be disappointed. So everyone is saying that, oh, Elijah Muhammad this, Elijah Muhammad. Accept the truth about Elijah Muhammad and live your life. Okay? Accept the truth about Malcolm X and live your life. I am no man on earth is a god. No man on earth is a god. Everyone's walking like, oh, he's a god. No man on earth is a god. Jesus wasn't real, y'all. Jesus was a man, was simply a man. Did he have great moments? Yes. But man, stop thinking that he was perfect. Y'all motherfuckers, y'all Christians believe that Jesus was perfect. You're silly. Okay, then how can you be perfect? Come on, for real, for real. How can you be perfect? And when I listen to Nation of Islam members and they say that Elijah Muhammad can do it, but I can't, that's different to me. That don't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me when a Nation of Islam member can say, I can make the. I asked a Nation of Islam member, about 10 of them. I said, how much money do you make a day? Oh, they say sometimes I make 30, sometimes I make 100. You know, it just depends. And then I say, and then I ask them, when you compare that to Elijah Muhammad's life, is that fair? Is that fair? I thought you lead by example. That's just what I believe. If I walk into a liquor store and I have $2 and I have a friend with me, we both have $2. That's just what I believe in. And I'm you can have as much long as you want to respond to this, DB, as long as you want, no problem. But I'm just saying the truth is the truth. And I think people are so hung up with theories and theorems and ideals and ideologies, and they carry it from generation to generation to generation. Just like this is the first generation where black people believe Jesus is black on a macro level. I went to church and Jesus was white when I was a kid. And I had a black pastor, had a black assistant pastor, had a black first lady, had a Jesus. They said Jesus was white. But if you know the arc of evolution, you know white people and Mexican people and Asian people and everyone else have to descend from black. It can't go up. Everything comes down. Like it don't go that way. So I think we're setting ourselves up. We are setting ourselves up for disappointment when you say Elijah Muhammad is God. Malcolm X is God. You're setting yourself up for failure. It's like when you get 14 and you realize your dad ain't Superman. You realize your dad can't beat up everybody. You realize that your dad might have did something wrong. He might have did some drugs. He might have did that. And I say for you, search for the truth. It's that important to search for the truth. That's all. Go ahead, DB.
Whew. All right. Yeah, that was quite a piece. I think this should have been a completely separate show, just with some notes taken and being able to hear them out. One thing I can say is if we preach no censorship and Charleston White can come on and say his piece, and Jason Whitlock can come on and say his piece, I believe that Brandon Washington, our good brother, has earned the right and the privilege to express his thoughts and to deliver his piece. And I don't think he had a fair shot in the beginning. But yeah, you did give him a chance to do it at the end. But in the beginning, there was a lot of stopping him and talking over each other. But at the end, he did get a chance to express some of his thoughts. As a former educator, I mean, you yourself knows that you were a teacher, right? Did your students get a salary?
No, my students didn't get a salary.
Right. You had a salary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you get a salary and the students didn't get a salary?
Because I was the teacher.
Right.
I can't.
So if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or the Minister Louis Farrakhan or Brother Malcolm, whoever is the teacher, they have a salary, and of course it's not fair. The students didn't have a salary, so you didn't say it was fair. It wasn't fair then, but you were getting a salary and the students weren't. So the world just doesn't work like that. So sometimes, when you're digging for stuff, it's just got to be the right thing. What's good for the goose ain't always good for the gander. My last piece is that my dad is Superman. But back to boxing.
No, I want to respond. I don't fuck boxing. I don't want to talk about boxing no more. If y'all want to add into it, y'all add into it. I'll say this. Yeah, of course your dad is Superman. I'm gonna work backwards. Yeah, your dad will forever be Superman, and that's honorable that your dad is that in your life, and he continues to be that in your life. Now, when you're as you say, student teacher. No, first I want to go back to Brandon. Brandon asked me a question and he would not let me respond. He asked me a question and he would not let me respond to the question. He thinks because I say a sentence, I am done. I am not done. Just because I speak in complete thoughts. I don't speak in complete sentences. So I think he should have, when he asked me the question, he should have let me answer the question. And two, because there was some dissension, I shut up. He didn't shut up. He cut me off. And I let the nigga talk for 10 minutes. However long he want to talk. I let him talk for 10 minutes. I didn't say a word. Do I believe him? No. Did I let him talk as long as he want to? Yes. And two, when you're talking about teacher a student that is 5 through 17 versus an adult who's not getting paid and has a family to take care of, I think those are completely different ends of the spectrum. I think when a grown man making $30 a day to $100 a day, maybe $200. I don't know how much money he's making. I'm just saying this. You have to earn a living in a capitalist society. You have to earn a living in a capitalist society. Now, if the teacher says, I am the messenger of God. Now you're talking secular teaching versus religious teachings. Now, when secular teaching meaning education, right? Now when you're talking religious teachings, you have to be the example of your teachings. So you can't compare secular teachings from religious teachings. So if I am the religious teacher and everyone in this circle, not everyone, but many people in this circle of influence doesn't have the same quality of life that I have, or I do not go without so they can have, how strong am I? Because at the end of the day, his teachers died broke. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. 90%, I would say 90% of them died broke. And when a man is worth, I don't know, 40, 20 to 60, 20 to 80, somewhere in there, millions of dollars, and you're saying, I'm going to be rich. And we're talking from a religious perspective. And you're still going to be poor, even though I'm going to be rich. From a religious perspective, you're supposed to be the servant. From a biblical perspective, you're supposed to wash people's feet. I don't see washing people's feet when you have a brand new Cadillac, when I can check the deeds. I have the deeds in my living room. I have replica of the deeds. I have all his cars. I have all of this stuff in my living room. Every 12 months, the man has a brand new Cadillac. And no one's allowed to drive it. But we can, in 2020, say Creflo Dollar and that guy in Texas. What's the guy's name? Oh my gosh. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The Burley brother. Y'all can
TD Jakes.
Yeah, thank you. Y'all can say TD Jakes has all this money and everyone else in the church is poor. I don't know, whatever pastor you want to pick. I think pastors should wash feet. I genuinely believe that. I think there's a difference between a religious teacher and a secular teacher. Or Joel Osteen, yeah, whatever the case may be. You know, I'm not playing God. I'm seeking the truth. And whoever's on the wrong side of the truth, whoever's on the right side of the truth, that's what it's going to be. But everywhere I go, listen, if someone called you wrong for 20 years and then history proves that you were right in your assertion, then everything should be omitted. Louis Farrakhan said those were his wives. They don't have marriage certificates, but Clara Muhammad has a marriage license. Make it make sense. If the FBI are following you every day, he would have been arrested for bigamy. So we got to make it make sense. We got to speak in real time, having real conversations. Everyone wants to deal with narratives and ideologies, and no, deal with the truth. The same way I had, times ain't different. No, times are the same. Marriages are still marriages. The same thing. I sit down with Dre and how our relationship has evolved and evolved and evolved and evolved and evolved. Those are real-time conversations. Do they hurt? Yes. But that's the truth. And I think that if we're holding on to these old ideas, we holding on to a 1963 ideology as it pertains to the Nation of Islam versus Malcolm X. That's a 1963 ideology. We don't want to know what happened after 1963. The Nation of Islam will lie and say the members were not a part of the Nation of Islam, but after they buried Malcolm X, they were a part of the Nation of Islam. The people that actually had the guns, the people that was actually there, they actually went back to the Nation of Islam and served under Elijah Muhammad's teachings. But we don't want to have those conversations because we want to stay on February 21st, 1965. We want to stay there. We want to stay there and have that conversation. That's not right. That's not fair. Speak in truth. Now, we can go off and say Malcolm X. I'm not saying Malcolm X was perfect, but every time a Nation of Islam get on, they say Elijah Muhammad was perfect. We can't speak on that. Why? He's a man. Was I perfect as a teacher? No. So, but go ahead, DB. And Brandon is back again, but go ahead.
No, good. I was just going to say, let's have some of the brothers call in. So if Brandon's back, I'm ready to hear him.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me back. Fred, a lot of points you making straw man arguments. You putting up arguments and arguing against them. Like you talking about, nobody said Elijah Muhammad was perfect. No man is perfect. In a nation we're taught to worship. See, and then you see a lot of things you just don't have enough knowledge on. You talk about wives. You wouldn't tell an imam in Islam that he can't have wives, and you can't talk about how he should govern his wives because in Islam they're allowed to have wives. Now, when it comes to what Minister Farrakhan, he did call them his wives. And if you've seen his 1994 Savior's Day, he brought them all out as his wives. Not only that, see, you don't know this, but Evelyn's daughter is married to Minister Farrakhan's son, Joshua. See, a lot of this stuff,
don't assume, just speak your point.
Okay, well, you're right, Fred. I'm assuming. And the reason I assume you don't know a lot of things is because of the way you speak about the Nation of Islam. That's why I assume you didn't know, but you're right, I am assuming. Now, when it comes to, you said you talked to some brothers that was on the corner. Now, I'm finna tell you what you talked to them about. They were selling the Final Call newspaper. They were, right? They were selling the Final Call newspaper. We call that, in the Nation of Islam, we call that our charity. That's how we go out to our people. The Final Call newspaper, according to the Nation of Islam, is a tool to get into your people's face, to talk to them, to try to give them the teachings of, whether you agree, just like you just said, trash Christianity. I don't think that was fair. I think that whatever helps people to get up and be better people every day, then you let them have that. Now, if they come to you and try to impress their beliefs on you, then you can talk about that. But just to trash Christianity and a trash religion and basically call people stupid and act as though, and then you talking about the truth is the truth. These people are following these religions or on these paths looking for the truth, Fred. You think that we all just want to go believe dumb shit or we want to just believe the shit? No, we're trying to be better human beings and better people. That's what the teachers of the Most High Elijah Muhammad did. You have never been inside the Nation of Islam, so you ain't seen ex drug dealers, ex people. Matter of fact, Big U was a part of the Nation of Islam. All of these people who you see making a difference, and then you don't want to give credit to Elijah Muhammad for what he did. He did. Malcolm gave him his credit in his book, so you can't take it away from him. He says that the Elijah Muhammad made him. He said that the Elijah Muhammad made him the man that he was, and that he would never be nothing without him. So I didn't say that. He said that in his book, Fred. So when you try to tear down Elijah Muhammad and say that you giving credit to one man, Earl Little was dead, man. Didn't Earl die when he was 6? Come on, Fred. I'm not saying that the influence of who he was as a conscious man didn't influence Malcolm, but the man who made Malcolm, who reached in that penitentiary and got him and told him who he was and said, "You a black guy. You not a criminal. You're not Detroit Red. You're not into that. Your name is Malcolm X. Not only that, you are a great man. Not only are you great, I'm gonna stand you up in front of the world and show them how great you are. A man that came out of prison." That's the teachers of the Most High Elijah Muhammad. Now, if you want to run this sinister program and run this, the thing about it is another thing that you're not taking into account. The Nation of Islam had agents. They had agents in COINTELPRO, which means they had things the United States government working against them. Your job is, you want to go after the nation, go after the government. They the people who orchestrated it all. You reading their papers, you chasing down these ghosts. Chase the government. Go find the FBI agents who set this in motion. Go find the New York, and then you go to them. But it's easy. Once again, it's easy for a slave to knock the shit out of other slaves. It's easy to tear down. You didn't call John is Kennedy a bigamist when he was sleeping with Marilyn Monroe, and they had all these mysteries. You don't tear them down, but you would tear somebody who came.
Are you making
black people?
Wait, time out. You're making too many assumptions on me,
Oh,
because there were 3 or 4
Fred,
videos. No. You got to stop making assumptions.
I'm sorry.
And tell your truth.
I was making assumptions based on. I'm making assumptions and telling my truth based on listening to you speak, Fred.
I allowed you to speak, but now you're basically throwing me under the bus. The question was, when we came, you see how people go somewhere else. And and I've done videos on JFK. They're on my channel. Feel free to go. But you see how people don't stay on point. They talk in broader brushes. When you came in, the question was, were they his wives? I'm not talking about how many people he saved. The question
according to them, they were his wives. They said they were his wives. I can't say.
According to
the women themselves, the women, Tynetta, Evelyn, they said they were his wives. I didn't say that. Now, if you're talking about legally, like you can in the country of America, you can only want in North America, United States, you can only marry paperwork legally one person at a time, legally. But if you're talking about entering into, they have you see sister wives in that all the time. The show in Utah. So depending on if you saying man's law, by man's law, you can only have one. But by their law, and we see that every day. We see men with girlfriends and mistresses and that kind of thing. So whatever they say they were to him, that's what they were. But if you want to say by law, no, by law, they cannot be his wives in the United States of America, because you can only have one. Did that answer your question? I hope I answered your question.
You're basically justifying it.
I didn't justify,
because you said he can have it under God's law. He can have it.
You can have whatever you want. You can have. Fred, can't you have more? You can have as many women as you can have if they will let.
It's not about me. It's about the law in 1960, 61, 62, 63, 64.
The law haven't changed, Fred. It's still the same law. You can only have one wife at a time. But what I'm saying, according to Islamic law, that's how in Islam, you don't even have a marriage certificate. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. You got to understand Islam, and you have to understand the law and the rules of Islam. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. I'm not you trying to make it whether it's right or wrong or whether it should be fit. No, I'm just telling you what the laws of Islam are versus the laws of man. That's it. Now you put it where you want to put it, and you make it be moral or immoral. That's up to you. I'm just telling you the facts. They call themselves his wives. They call themselves that. Who am I to say you're not his wife? If you saying you his wife and y'all living a certain lifestyle, who am I? You wouldn't go to Utah and tell all of them that they live in a foul lifestyle. You wouldn't do that. But hey, low hanging fruit. So what I would say is, by law, no, you can only have one wife in the United States of America, legally on paper. But you can enter into relationships with whoever you want to, and you can enter in free relationships whoever you want to. So I hope I answered your question. And that's the end to that. So did I answer your question about the wives?
No, you came in wanting to respond to it.
I did respond. Did I respond? I think I responded to everything you said. You talked about the brothers on the block selling papers and they only make $30 compared to the lifestyle of the man. Fred, that's another disingenuous argument. You're a landlord and your tenants don't live the lifestyle that you live.
You're not making sense.
No, I'm saying, how so?
You're not making
How
sense.
so?
You're talking.
Fred, everybody, here's the thing. When you in the so you saying in the organization that you saying that the senators in the United States lifestyle are comparable to the president. So you saying everything is levels.
Go ahead. Talk as long as you want. Go ahead. You talk. Go ahead.
I'm saying what I'm saying is levels. So you expect, and then you start talking about Cadillacs and mansions. Who buys a Cadillac every year and can't nobody drive it? When you throw out statements, who are you talking about? Who deeds do you have in your living room? What paperwork do you have? You made an accusation and said that you have Evelyn's birth certificate and that you can prove that she's a teenager, and you have yet to do it. You have yet to do it, but you made an accusation. What I'm saying is, if you're gonna speak about facts, speak about facts.
If you want to, you can see. I hate how you just call me lying. You can't call a man a liar.
I said you have yet to show the birth certificate, which makes you a liar. You said you have until you show it and prove you lying.
Oh, really? Is that the case? Is that the case?
Fred, I don't want to do this go back and forth with you, man.
Because you know where I was about to go with it.
If you have this, if you have it, show it. I'm telling you that that's not true. If you can prove it to be true, then we'll come around and say that it's true. And that's another thing about the Nation of Islam. We respect all truth. So if you come and show me that, and that's a truth, which you can't. But if you do, I'm going to come back and say, Fred, you were correct and I was wrong. That's how that works. I will come back. I'll be mad enough, but I know that that's not true. And anyway, what I want to say, Fred, is the position that you take in the antagonistic, if you're looking for whatever your truth is, go find it. Godspeed to it. But to say that your truth is the truth, you like the truth is the truth. No, the truth can have a slant on it. Depends on who's telling it. So that's my view. Thank you for letting me come back in and get that off. And I'm gonna go back in the chat. But I want to say that we don't have no difference, Fred. I just think that you don't have enough knowledge about what you're talking about, and you think you have an understanding of something that you barely scratched the surface of. And that's what I noticed by looking and listening to you talk and watching you and watching how you deal with the Nation of Islam. You don't have enough knowledge about what you speak. So that's why I come back in, I rebuttal, and I say certain things. But we don't have any differences. Both of us ultimately want the same thing, which is want to see people that look like us free. So I believe that. But outside of that, I hate that the show went this way. I wish we would have kept it on boxing, but it probably needed to be done. It needs to be done. So peace and blessings. Thanks, DB. Thanks, Fred, once again, and I'm going to go back to work.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It is the most just and genuine comment to say, you didn't speak about John F. Kennedy. 5 men walked into the Audubon ballroom and killed Malcolm X. What are you talking about? And then they tried to kill Khalid Muhammad at UCR. What are you talking about? So stop this argument. Live in truth. And let me get. Oh, I already said that about the super chat. Now let's go backwards. Because he said that they were his wives. Okay. Now, obviously, I don't want to go in. Oh man, I don't have them uploaded to my computer, or else I would have pulled it up. Right? They're actually hard copies, but I will pull them up. I will. However, I will take a picture and send them to my email, and then you guys will see it. Okay. I'm only going to speak in facts. Now, listen, if those were all his wives, as he said, those were his wives, would you suspend your wife from from your religious organization? Would you tell your wives that you are no longer financially supporting them? If your wife called you and said she needed rent, I'm asking a question. Or if your number one wife told you that, I'm just going to paraphrase it. Why are you not home? Why are you spending too much time in Phoenix, Arizona? Why do you have a hideaway apartment in the city in which we live in? Why are you living in an apartment and we have a 19-room house, 47, 46, whatever address that is, 48, 49 is some address like that. Why are you staying in an apartment? I just say live in truth. You can go any way you want to go with it. I don't care, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. If Malcolm X was a hypocrite, I'd rather be the hypocrite. If someone tells you the truth out of spite or out of love, out of envy or out of love, does that change the truth? Malcolm X died broke. James Shabazz died broke. I mean, we can just go on and on and on. They all died broke. Elijah Muhammad's fortune was tied up in courts for years. If those were his wives, why are you going to court to get your money? Because legally, those wasn't your wives. You didn't have a living trust. Died with no will. Akbar and Wallace Muhammad left him because Wallace Muhammad saw the pain. Wallace Muhammad tried to convince his mom to leave. I repeat, Wallace Muhammad tried to convince his mom to leave his own father. So was Malcolm X lying? I appreciate the inspiration, because guess what I'm going to do all night? Guess what Fred ain't doing? He ain't fucking sleeping tonight. He ain't fucking sleeping tonight. I don't care about sleep. Don't care. Y'all just inspired me to get done with this shit by June now. I was thinking summertime. June it is. Y'all inspired me. I'm just saying. Dre had my kids. You know what Dre is driving? $100,000 car. Dre got a Tesla. Elijah Muhammad called the police on his wives because they tried to drop off the babies. And I cross-referenced it. I have the paperwork. I have the statements. If your wives are dropping off your children, why are you calling the police and telling them to get off of your property? That's why we got to stop putting men in all these pedestals. I don't believe, I never once said Malcolm was perfect. Martin Luther King was perfect. But the moment you say Elijah, oh man, niggas want to fight. Niggas get mad. You're lying. No, live in truth. Y'all so afraid to live in truth. Y'all afraid. Y'all so afraid. Man, I'll be damned if I had a child. I mean, I don't know it. I can't even imagine that. Like, I don't even know no other way. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, they calling you starving for money. They calling you starving for money. And you say, I gave you money 3 months ago. Just making this. So if they were his wives, why wasn't they in the will? If they were his wives, why were they kicked out of the Nation of Islam? If they were his wives, why did he tell Louis Farrakhan not to associate with them? If they were his wives, why did he ask John Ali to shut them up? If they were his wives, why is John Ali delivering money to them? Why is John Ali delivering shut up money? I have all this information. So we can go on and go back and forth and say he betrayed his teacher. Yeah, is that worthy of death? A student betrays. That's not, you can't even compare. In the religious sector, in America, you betray your teacher, that's worthy of death? Where they do that at in America? Go ahead, DB. You still there?
I'm just listening. You cooking? Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying I really don't have malice in my heart, but I'm omit. But it just bothers me every turn I go to, every Nation of Islam member I go to. Malcolm X was a hypocrite. How is he a hypocrite when history proves that he was correct?
Did I tell you Malcolm X was a hypocrite?
No, I'm saying excuse me, I didn't say every. I didn't say every, but that's tit for tat. Many of the Nation of Islam members I go to say Malcolm is a hypocrite. I argued with John Ali about that. And at the end of the night, he agreed with me. Like I said, I wish I had a camera guy with me all day. I will not lie on John Ali. That's why I want this out before he dies. I want this documentary out before he dies. He called me last week and thanked me. That shit has been on his chest for so fucking long. He probably couldn't wait to get it off his chest. I want to get this out before he dies. It is so important for me to get this out before he dies, because he told me some things that was not on camera. And I wish I had a cameraman and a producer. The next time I go, I'm going to do my best to get a producer to record everything. But the same way Bob said he delivered the money is the same way John Ali said I handled the money. So if John Ali is handling the money in the fight, one would speculate that he's handling the money from the temples. It's just an assumption, because everybody has roles. Everyone has roles. The minister can't count all the money. I'll give you the link. The minister can't count all the money. He's traveling. Did I say traveling? Traveling. He's traveling from city to city, from city to city, city to city, city to city. So, I mean, I think when 90% of the parties are deceased, 85, I don't know. It's just I mean, you're not going to get, I'm sorry. You're not going to get the whole truth. When someone makes a claim to have evidence, until evidence is shown, the person is not a liar must be proven. Come on. I mean, I have this stuff, man. I've been researching this shit man. I have it. If I have it, okay. I have it, man. All right. I don't want to get up from it's no point, but I'm gonna do a screen share to make it easier on everybody. Okay. I understand. It's like when my sophomore year in college, I found out Martin Luther King was out here in these streets doing what he do. I said, Martin Luther King? No fucking way. I didn't believe the shit when my professor told me. I didn't believe it. I said, no way. No way. And it was a white man too, so I really didn't believe. Professor Dick Archer was the man that told me. I said, no way. Nah, impossible. It's true. That don't make it. In my eyes, he still was fighting for us. So, anyways, we got Kyle coming in. I got you next, Asian.